Mr. Deputy Speaker, Sir, I express my gratitude to the honorable members for expressing their views regarding the demands for grants for the year 1989-90 for the Ministry of Agriculture. It is a matter of gratification that most of the honorable members have appreciated and have expressed their satisfaction regarding the working, the achievements, and future planning of the Ministry of Agriculture. In the budget for 1988-89, the plan outlay for 1988-89 had been fixed at rupees 700 crores, whereas for this year it has been raised to rupees 800 crores, which is definitely more than the amount of the previous year. In this connection, the honorable members have made a mention of a number of schemes. They have demanded special programs to be introduced in their respective areas. Provisions have been made in this budget. The budget provides for assistance for land reforms for the distribution of fertilizers, assistance to farmers or for increasing oil seeds productions. I want to draw the attention of this esteemed house to certain points which have not been discussed so far. Last year, the Honorable Prime Minister introduced a special food grains program in the year 1988-89 for increasing agricultural productivity and total agricultural production after making a mid-term appraisal of the 7th five-year plan. There are 14 main food grains producing states in our country, out of which 169 districts have been selected for it. Just now, the honorable member from Kerala was saying that no such program has been introduced in his state. I want to inform him that this program has been introduced only in the main districts of the major food grains producing states because it was a special food grains program, as is clear from its name, and the esteemed house will agree with me that this year we have achieved a record production. The food grains production is more than 70 crore tons this year. This is a landmark in the history of this country. But we should not be satisfied with this achievement. We are going to formulate schemes for further increase in the food grains production during the coming 3 years. Therefore, for the year 1990-91, the target for increasing the production of wheat and rice has been fixed at 5 million ton. Our department has already started taking steps in this regard, and I can say that we will be able to achieve the target fixed. I would like to make a brief mention of the major aspects of this year's budget. Several honorable members have expressed their views in the matter. Firstly, the percentage of bank loans in the agriculture sector is being increased from 17% to 18%. An additional amount of rupees 4,000 crores will be given as loans. The rate of interest has been reduced from 14% to 12%. A special program for the production and development of seeds was announced in September 1988 by the Honorable Prime Minister. It is expected that new varieties of seeds of vegetables, fruits, and flowers will be developed under this program, and that the import duty on machinery and other inputs required for the production and processing of fruits and vegetables has been fixed at 40% ad valorem. Similarly, the rate of duty on poultry feed has been reduced from 140% to 70%. You are aware that subsidies were hitherto being given on fertilizers. I think that the steps which have been taken by the Honorable Prime Minister for increasing the production will have their positive effect, and the farmers will be more successful in their efforts to increase agricultural production. The House is aware that due to the drought conditions, our food grains production fell down considerably last year, but this reduction was much less than what was apprehended. This reduction was only by 3% as compared to that in 1986-87. The drought situation was tackled by formulating a special program which helped in lessening the severity of drought. This shows that our agriculture has become resilient, and a stage has been reached where we are able to tackle this kind of crisis effectively. The contribution of the farmers in controlling the drought situation has been praiseworthy. Sir, I have already stated the success achieved on the agricultural front in 1988-89 makes all of us feel proud of it. As regards the various special programs formulated for the progress of agriculture, the Honorable Prime Minister has laid special emphasis in this connection on having effective control over monsoons by collecting full information in this matter and disseminate the same from time to time to the persons concerned to provide irrigation facilities to those regions where such special programs are under implementation on the basis of the productivity of land, and while undertaking such programs the particular needs of the region should be taken into account. It is with this view that 15 agroclimatic regions have been set up and they have been further subdivided into smaller parts. The agroclimatic regions collect information about capacity of land in respect of its productivity, irrigation facilities, amount of rainfall, etc. Action is taken after giving a serious thought to all these aspects. A senior vice chancellor of an agricultural university has been made in charge of each of such zones, who advises the farmers as to what to do in the given circumstances and suggests to the government as to what sort of assistance should it give to them after taking into account the requirements and the deficiencies of the respective areas. I am sure the agricultural department will fulfill its obligations toward the nation and its farmers under the direction of the Honorable Prime Minister. Next, I would like to take the issue of fixation to support price for the agricultural products by the government. Several honorable members have raised it inside as well as outside the House, and it has been a topic of frequent discussion. Different support prices for wheat and oilseeds, etc., have been suggested by the parties and the individuals, but they have not taken those practical aspects into consideration on the basis of which such prices are determined. That is why the nomenclature of the Agricultural Prices Commission has now been changed to the Agricultural Costs and Prices Commission under the instructions of the Honorable Prime Minister, and it determines the support price after taking into account the agricultural produce and the cost of such production for the last 3 or 4 years. Under the instructions of the Honorable Prime Minister, support prices are announced far in advance of the sowing of the crops of that the farmers are able to choose their crops, taking in view the support prices fixed by the government. Another very important measure which has been taken by our Honorable Prime Minister is that 3 out of the 6 members of the Agricultural Costs and Prices Commission are the representatives of farmers, so that the views of the farmers are taken into account and the recommendations are made on that basis. The Agricultural Costs and Prices Commission determines the cost of various food grains after taking into consideration the cost of agricultural inputs, the fluctuation in prices of the agricultural input, the extent of parity between the production cost and prices of other essential required for personal use, the market rates, the supply and demand position, the parity in the rates of one kind of crop with another, the effect of which the new prices would have on the cost of the industrial products, on the rates in the general market, on the cost of living in general, and on the prices in the international market. Apart from all these, this parity between the support price and the price which the farmer pays for buying things for his daily needs is also taken into account. After considering all these aspects, the Commission sends its proposals to the central government. The central government declares the support price after consulting the state governments in this matter and after looking into the fact that the farmers are able to get reasonable margin of profit after incurring all the necessary expenditure. Efforts are made to declare such prices which may provide reasonable margin of profit to the farmers. Thus, this commission looks into all these aspects. In this connection, one thing is repeatedly said that the production costs of the farmers are increasing rapidly, but the support price, which is determined by the government, is not increasing equally. Hence, this question arises as to what is meant by production expenses. The Commission takes into account all sorts of expenses incurred by the farmers, for example, the expenses of the maintaining hired labor, the cost of buying cattle, etc. The cost of purchasing or hiring pump sets, tractors, machines such as crushers, etc., and the labor charges incurred on operating them is also taken into consideration by the Commission. Further, the cost of the seeds, whether grown in his own fields or brought from outside, cost of pesticides and natural or chemical fertilizers, whether prepared by himself or brought from the market, and agricultural implements are also taken into account. In addition, the cost of providing irrigation facilities, the expenses involved in the payment of land revenue, repayment of loans, payment of interest on working capital and on capital assets, excluding land, are also taken into consideration. Sir, the incidental value of land is also determined and taken into account. The cost of labor is also included in such valuation. Thus, there is not a single expense incurred by the farmers for raising various crops which is not taken into account while determining the support price. Therefore, I think that this change is baseless or is leveled out of ignorance that farmers are not being paid remunerative prices. In fact, all these things are considered before determining the support price. Sir, I would like to make one more point. It has been demanded many times that all the agricultural products should be purchased at support price. Rice and wheat are purchased by FCI or other bodies, but the purchase of other items is made by NAFED on behalf of the central government. Apart from this, as the Honorable Member from Kerala was saying just now that the prices of coconut produced in his state or in Karnataka, prices of potatoes produced in Uttar Pradesh or prices of onions produced in Maharashtra are falling is a fact. It is under consideration of the government to fix the support price for coconut. Sir, continuous efforts are being made to acquaint the farmers with new farming techniques. Extensive publicity is being given to the Lab to Land program. Recently, from 25th March to 10th April, a national agriculture fair was held at New Delhi. Nearly 1.5 lakh farmers from all over the country attended this fair. Such events evoke awareness among the farmers. We hope more such fairs will be organized for the benefit of farmers. Recently, the Honorable Prime Minister dedicated a supreme computer to the nation for making long-term weather forecasts. Accordingly, farmers can space the sowing of crops and also take preventive measures to save their standing crops against natural calamities. This program has been successfully implemented by the Ministry of Agriculture. The department has been very prompt in giving assistance to areas affected by flood and drought. Teams visit states in response to reports or memoranda received. The government considers their recommendations and tries to send assistance within 1 month. Last year, the Honorable Prime Minister personally toured the drought-affected areas and directed relief operations. The Ministry of Agriculture has made remarkable progress under the able leadership of the Honorable Agriculture Minister.